right, let's drink some wine.
Awesome.
I am Bryan Hinschberger.
And I'm Paul Hinschberger.
We're the Wine Brothers, talking about delicious wines. I work for Vivant Imports, a fantastic importing company of Spanish and Italian wines. And Paul, what do you do?
And I'm an assistant winemaker at a winery right here in Washington State.
That's where we are, Washington State.
Yes.
So today we're diving into Spain. We have Bodegas Sinforiano, this fantastic winery out of the Cigales region of Spain. Cigales sits in the Castellon region or community, kind of just north of the Douro River, which runs into Portugal, and Ribera del Duero, which is probably the most popular of all of the DOs in the area, sits just to Cigales. They're kind of this way. Cigales just sits northwest, if that makes sense, right? So, and they focus a lot on the same grapes. What I love about Cigales is it's this value-driven region. They have a big brother next door in Ribera that can charge massive amounts of money, and I would say it's arguable that they do just as good a wine, and the value is really there. They only do rosés and reds, and that's what we're tasting today. So basically, Sinfo is their flagship line, Sinforiano. It's Sinforiano Vaquera is the kind of founder, and Daniela Gomez, back in 1966. And these two have been farmers. I mean, they were farmers from the get-go. They've always been farming, they really tend to the land, and just make gorgeous wine. And in fact, they don't even make the wine because they farm. Ruth Sierra is the winemaker of this bodega. And I think what she's doing with the juice that's coming in is just exquisite. So let's taste some of these wines. The Sinfo Rosado. So in Cigales, the law states that this must be at least 60% Tinto del País, which is Tempranillo, and must be at least 20% of one of the indigenous white varieties of the area. Verdejo, Albio, Sauvignon Blanc. And this, they are taking only the minimum white that they need. So there is 20% Verdejo and Albio, about half and half of each, and 80% Tempranillo. What I love about what this does to the wine, you know, the Verdejo, this one of my favorite wines. We love Verdejo. You know, it's got that grassy, big, unctuous, kind of funky white characteristic that I think is some of the most exciting white wine in the world. And the Albio is this more floral variety that I think will really add to some of the lifted tones. And you dove right in. You know,
I couldn't just smell anymore.
This wine is beautiful. I mean, what do you get on the nose? Because I think it's more than just your typical strawberries rosé.
Absolutely. It's in fact, there's a lot of earthy minerality notes. There's the gravelly, kind of a gunflint almost.
Actually, absolutely good call. I'm glad you bring up the minerality because the minerality here is massive. It's huge. It's a really focused. In Cigales, we are dealing with continental climate, super cold winters, and super, super hot drought summers. We're talking limestone, sandy loam. So loam is kind of that sand, silt, clay blend. The good thing about loam is it holds water really well. So in the wintertime, when the moisture comes, and in the summertime there's a drought, there's actually still some moisture left in the ground. But at the same time, these vines really have to struggle. These guys tend to these vines so wonderfully, all very, very sustainable, not certified organic or anything, but they are very true to the earth. They don't use all of the extras and the synthetics that are necessary in some people's minds. They keep it very, very true to the earth, and I think it shows in the wines.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful brambly fruit. Like you said, you know, it's got that great minerality, and then really hay, you know, like
kind of that fresh cut hay, grass.
Which I kind of attribute to that Verdejo.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10% Verdejo, so if that's what's doing it, that's amazing. But yeah, it's got a great, almost kind of that Sauvignon Blanc
it does.
smell, but there's no Sauvignon Blanc in there.
Rosés are hot right now, like super, super hip. Spanish rosé, French rosé, hands down greatest rosés in the world. And Cigales, I would say, has a good claim of fame in Spain for being some of the greatest rosés you can find.
That's wonderful.
Beautiful, beautiful wine. This sits on a shelf, $15 retail. Absolutely to die for.
No.
What would we rate this on our all-encompassing rating scale that makes all these just perfect?
Well, I'm gonna have to give it a 25 out of 26 stars.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big scale.
Yeah. For that wonderful wine on a summer evening after a barbecue.
After the barbecue, not before.
No, definitely not before. When you're just hanging out with friends and want something refreshing and...
You've already drank plenty of beer, you've had all your good food, you're full, and you want something perfect to match everything.
Yeah.
25 out of 26 stars.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Awesome. Let's go on to the Tinto Roble. So, also in the Sinfo line is their Tinto Roble. Roble being one of those designations, thank you, from Spain. It basically means that it has little time aging. This is actually seen 4 months oak, blend of used American and French oak, and 100% Tinto del País. So here we're dealing with vineyards from 15 to 25 years old of vines. Here we're dealing with more 40 to 50-year-old vines. And I think it really shows. Every time I stick my nose in this wine or taste this, and we crack one of these bottles, I'm blown away. Are you getting it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
One thing about Cigales, it might be psychological, but I feel like I always kind of get that like cigar smoke or cigar box kind of smell.
I totally dig that. Like, and to me, it's not the aftermath.
Right.
It's the pre-funk of the cigar. You take that gorgeous wooden box, open it up, and there's that rich tobacco smell coated in that delicious leaf that's been toasted to perfection. That is in this glass right now. That's sweet tobacco. Oh my god. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful wine. But then brambly, very, very rich. This is kind of that on your hands and knees crawling through the blackberry patch, being poked in the eye with a thorn. Deliciousness. But
so that that Dos Equis guy on the commercials.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't always drink Dos Equis, but when I drink beer, or no, yeah, I don't always drink beer, but when I do drink beer, I drink Dos Equis. I envision this is what he drinks when he's drinking wine. Yeah.
I think we actually should go to Dos Equis about this.
Yeah.
and talk about this wine because this is good. This is 2008 also. Very, very fresh.
Yeah.
Young wine, 4 months oak, used oak. So the grape is really shining through. There's those notes of like roundness that the oak's giving it. But it's just absolutely balanced perfectly. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous wine. And, really very versatile with food.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a 30 out of 30 points for the all-encompassing tapas night.
Okay, alright, yeah.
So
it's so versatile with all types of Spanish tapas.
Absolutely, the minerality's there, the acidity's there, the fruit's there, the focus, the structure. If you had some great jamón ibérico to some arbequina olives, some feta cheese, hummus plates, anything. This is really, really versatile. Mm-hmm. This is spot on for Spanish tapas.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about the big boy. This is Sinforiano, the wine. They do this, the Tempranillo, and then a Reserva. And in this Reserva is 80-year-old, or this isn't the Reserva, I'm sorry. In the Tempranillo, 80-year-old fruit. A lot of people would call that reserve, but or would put that towards their reserve. Mm-hmm. But these guys have some of the oldest vineyards in all of Spain. Their Reserva Tempranillo, 120-year-old vines. Which is pretty stunning. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get a call for that and bring it into the country. But as of now, we're bringing this in, which is stunning wine. So I don't know if I mentioned, but these guys have been doing this for since 1966. As far as the winemaking, farming's been in the family forever. Mm-hmm. And the whole Vaquero family runs the bodega. They have this new state-of-the-art winery. About 3 years ago they finished, and they're just doing these exquisite representations of really, really well-valued wine. So like I said, you know, $15. The Tinto Roble, $18 on a shelf. And this Tempranillo, I would say probably upwards of $30 on a shelf. But when you stick your nose in the glass, you can see why.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got that same like earthy, brambly note of the
Roble. The Roble, yeah, absolutely. It does, but with the oak. So this has seen 13, 14 months of also French and American, but all new oak.
Yeah.
Which it's very prevalent.
It has a certain finesse about it that's rounded out from that oak. It's
Spanish wine to me can sometimes overdo it on the oak. American oak, you know, super coconut, super vanilla. This has those notes, but I think it's really well balanced off with the fruit, with the earth, with the minerality. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah, for sure.
This wine is luscious. It's very, very full. I haven't even put it in my mouth yet, but I know this wine. I love this. But the nose is just really, really enticing. You know, very, very seductive. This is one of those sexy, juicy wines that you wish you could drink on a regular occasion. How's the palate?
Great. I really enjoy the. Right now, I'm on the finish. I'm getting like fresh vanilla bean, but mixed in like with that brambly blackberry and like compost. It's
yeah. The earth side of this is really just like undertoned.
Yeah.
You know, there's all these beautiful notes of oak and fruit, and they're all dancing around on my palate. But underneath is just this gritty, amazing bulldozer of earth.
Yeah.
That is just striking. It's really, really striking. This wine is absolutely a steal for the value. If this was called Ribera del Duero, the price would be $80, $90.
Easily.
And this is not the case here. 2006, great vintage. Actually, all the recent vintages have been hot and wonderful. But a truly, truly outstanding wine. Score this for me, Paul.
Ooh, I give it a 10 out of 10 for tonight's dinner that we're going to be drinking.
And the reason being is this is a beast.
It is.
It needs to open. So in a few hours when we are having dinner, absolutely perfect for your meats. But this wine, 10 out of 10 points for letting it breathe for 5 hours and letting your mind be blown away. God, that is just luscious and ridiculous. Fantastic wine.
I can't wait for dinner.
Yeah. So Wines of Cigales, rosés, the tintos, absolutely beautiful. Great structure of Tinto del País. Very fun bottles that anyone I think would enjoy.
Yeah.
Funky, delicious, enticing, sexy, seductive. I like it. Thanks everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.